Hi, it's Louisa here, and I'm going to talk about a new book, which is a poetry book called The Colors of Indigo. And I'm just going to go through like what's in the book and everything that you will find here. So this book has different chapters. So there is descriptive poems, personal poems, and narrative-driven poems. There's also these sections, these chapters that are called, this one is called Fragments, and this one's Stories, and I will talk about each of these in depth. So first, let's talk about the first chapter, which is descriptive poems. Poems that paint a picture. So these poems are all about like descriptions and are meant to paint pictures. They use a lot of adjectives to describe certain characters or situations. And then next up we have personal poems. Poems that explore inner emotions. These poems are all about kind of my inner world and explore kind of what is happening in my mind, in characters' minds, feelings and thoughts I'm having. And then next up we have narrative-driven poems, which are poems that tell a story. And so these poems basically exactly what it sounds like. They tell stories. They have a narrative that you follow through. And then we have the Fragments chapter, which are fleeting thoughts from the depths of my mind. So these are like little I call them one-liners. They're not quite poems. They're just kind of like sentences that I came up with that are kind of like poetic that I wanted from this book. So I just put them in like one chapter. And then we have stories, which are vignettes that evoke feelings. And let me like grab, so I have in this one of the first pages of this book talks about these different types of writing in this book. So vignettes are short, atmospheric pieces that capture a moment in time. Unlike traditional short stories, vignettes do not follow a structured narrative with a beginning, middle, and end, and so they focus on invoking a feeling or impression. So yeah, and there's a whole chapter dedicated to there's like little vignettes that are just kind of focusing on these like scenes in a character's life, and I thought it was really fun to write. So the whole chapter dedicated to that, and then we have the Reflections chapter, which is notes and letters from my soul. So these are letters I wrote to myself, and then notes I wrote in a journal here. And this is only, the notes are only included in the physical copy of the book. And as well as the behind the scenes section, glimpses of the creative process. This is only in the physical version, which just shows like rough drafts of poems that I wrote in my journal. I don't have every poem, not every poem I wrote in my journal. Some I wrote on my iPhone or tablet or laptop, but these are some poems that I did write in my journal that I edited to be in the book. And then we have links page to my Etsy shop, my website, my Pinterest account, my Instagram account, and then about the author. And then I have this little chart I created called the I Am chart, which is just a little reflection on all the characters that I am, that are kind of represented throughout the book. And then we have a quote here. And what else? Yeah. And that is The Colors of Indigo. I hope you pick one up. I just can't wait to share this with you guys. It's already out on Amazon. You can also get the website exclusive version on my website that has exclusive voice memos, a special discount code to my Etsy shop, as well as mood boards I created for you guys to, use while reading this book. And also the chapters are hyperlinked, so it's easy for you to kind of go between different chapters. And I'll have all the links in the description.